Hi guys, you are on my channel Blythe Me More, and this tutorial it's about how to make a hat for your Blythe. And in this video I will be recording how to make a base, and in a different video I'll record how to make bunny ears and how to make bear ears. So you will be choosing. And before we begin, I do want to stop and talk about the yarn and the results you can get, as it's very important. Based on the yarn, you can adjust the number of the stitches, and also you need to keep in mind that your result will depend on the size of the knitting needles you use. I need to warn you that I also will be combining knitting and crocheting for this hat. Well, mostly it's all knitting, but this part is crochet. So you do need to have both knitting needles and crochet hook. If you want your hat to be fluffy, like this, in that case, you need to choose a yarn called Naco Paris. Unfortunately, I don't have a label to show you. So Naco Paris, it's the one which makers use to make fluffy hats. Also, you can use pet brush to make it even fluffier. And here, as you see, the ears, they are shorter and they are more stiff because they are crochet, not knitted. For the warm effect of a hat, and it's partially fluffy, you can choose alpaca fiber. And for a fine, delicate result like this one, you will need to choose alpaca angela. This time I'm planning to use cotton gold as my main yarn for my hat. Apart from the yarn, we'll need knitting needles. I will be using size number 14, which is equivalent to 2 millimeters. And also we'll need a crochet hook. So here I have one is number 2 and one is number 3. And standard, we'll need scissors, extra thread for sewing a button with a needle, with small needle. We'll need a needle with a big eyelet to hide the ends of the yarn. We will need to have stitch marker and one button. Well, this one is size 11.5. I don't recommend you choosing less than number 10 up to number 13. So now let's begin. First of all, we need to cast on 68 stitches all together with a slip stitch. I just want to mention that you can choose knitting needles with a cord or without, it doesn't matter. We'll need our end to be not less than 100, I would say 105 centimeters. So we'll be able to cast on 68 stitches. Once we make our slip stitch, we count it as the first one. So it means we need to make 67 more. So in total, on knitting needles, we'll have 68. Two, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, now we have 68. We'll take one out. The first stitch we always will be not knitting, will be just moving to the needle on the right, and now will be the pattern. The pattern is we'll need to make a rib one by one, so we'll have one stitch we knit, and each second stitch will be a purl stitch. So knit stitch, purl stitch. In this manner we're going to continue till the end of the row, and once we reach the last stitch, I will be back and show you how to make it. Okay, I reached the last one, and by the pattern it should be a knit stitch, but you need to know that our last stitch, regardless the pattern, always will be a purl stitch. Okay, our first row is ready. Now we are going to make the second row. I will repeat the same pattern. Okay, so above purl stitch we'll be making purl stitch, above the knit stitch we'll be making knit stitch. Let's better keep 4 stitches on the left needle. Okay, now we are going to knit 2 and make it to be 1, a knit stitch, purl stitch, and the last one is always purl stitch. Now we turn. So the first one we move, and now we have knit stitch, purl stitch. We'll have 1 slip stitch like this. You just like wrap around this knitting needle one more time from behind to the front. Now we have purl stitch, knit stitch, and like this, in this manner we'll do this row till the end. So all these manipulations we are making, it's for the purpose of having this hole for a button. That's why. And now this row, it will be the last of the rib stitches. Okay, so as usual we just remove the first one, and in the same way we knit. And here, once you reach this slip stitch, you will make it as the pattern shows. So here we have knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch. I have reached this slip stitch, and now you have choices. If your button is small, then it's better to make it tight. Yeah. And if your button is big, so then we can just make the purl stitch this way. Make this one closer to me, so this hole will be smaller, matching my small button. So now this part, it will be the part with our hole for a button, and we are going to close this part. So the stitches from the top we are going to close, and then we will be knitting these stitches. I prefer using a crochet hook. So the first stitch I move here, and all the knit stitches I also like imitate them in the same way. So it happens, I crochet and pull it through the one which is always here on the hook. Crochet it, and I will pull it this way. Right, so this stitch I move now to my knitting needle, 1.50 here. I'll hold for a button, and now we need to choose whether we want the front of our head to be knitted this way or to be purl stitches. They're both nice and beautiful, but since I'm going to also knit the ears, you see here we are knitting and here we're knitting, so I'll choose my front to be knitted. Okay, so it means that all these stitches till the end, they will be all purl stitches. Okay, so all we need to do right now to make them all be purl stitches till the end. Now we'll have a very simple task. We are going to knit, repeating the pattern. So we'll have on the right side all knit stitches, and on the wrong side it will be all purl stitches. Okay, so we have our first row. This is our second row, right? So we'll need to have 17 rows in total. So we have one completed. We need 16 rows more. Okay, so let's do 16 rows more. Following the pattern, this row will be all knit stitches, we turn all purl stitches, and so on. Right, now we have our 19 rows without counting rib stitches, and we are on our right side. Starting this row, each right side, we will be decreasing. I'll show you the final result, how it looks. So here we'll have stitches from both sides, like this, like a triangle. And one more difference, if we keep the right side as our front, main side of the head, so these stitches are visible, but let's say if we keep wrong side as our front, they're like less visible, less noticeable. Okay, this is our pattern. We started with 68 stitches, and now it will be clear why did I divide it this way. So this part is for the button, right? So we don't have it anymore. We were knitting 51 stitches and divided by 3, so we have 17. So decrease will be happening. Decrease will be happening here, so that's why it comes as a triangle this way. So it means that from these two sides, this and this, we always will have 17. Okay, and then it will be decreasing, so with two stitches knitted together, so we will have 13, and we have decrease, then each wrong side we will not be changing the number of stitches, so we have 51 minus 2, it means 49, so the then we'll just have purl stitches 49 in a row, and then again we'll have 17 decrease, 11 decrease, 17, and so on until we don't have any stitches left. So we will just be knitting in the way that we have 17 and 17, so in total it means 34. So I will start with you. I'll show you a few rows and you will understand. It's pretty simple. So let's knit our 17, including the first slip stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 17. Okay, we have 17. Now we will decrease by connecting these two stitches into one, but here look carefully, okay, because we need them to lean on the side we want. You see, it should lean to the left. We will need to take two stitches to the right needle and just rotate them. Okay, so see, before this was the way the stitch was placed, and now it's like moved in different direction, and we just put the needle into two and take one out. Okay, this is the first decrease. Now we need to knit 13. 1, 2, okay, and now again we need to decrease. This time we don't move these two stitches, but instead of inserting our knitting needle from this side, we do it from this side. Okay, now we should have here 17 left, and we just knit till the end. 17. So we have, as always, all will be knit stitches, but the last one will be a purl stitch. Okay, so this is our wrong side, and here without changes we just knit all the purl stitches. I'll show you one more time the right side. So we have 1, 2, so we have 17. You know, once we'll be reaching this decrease, it's so visible, so there is no need to count. And we are going to decrease by connecting this first decrease and the one which is in the middle. So we have to move them and turn and knit together. Now again we knit till the next decrease. So from the right side, from right to left, we always will be decreasing after the first decrease, and from left to right we'll be decreasing before the decrease, right? So it will be like a triangle. Here you see, and we so be careful, we don't need to have big holes. So if you feel like, okay, there is a big distance, you can just redo it again. and we knit till the end. And once we reach the wrong side, so no changes, all purl stitches, and so on, I will be back once I reach one or two left in the middle stitches, so we'll see what to do there. So this is what we have so far. See, like a triangle here, and here you have one in the middle. Well, we wouldn't be in this situation if we would have the even number of stitches, let's say 18, right, in the middle. So again, when you are using thinner or finer yarn, then you can change the pattern to be 18, 18, 18, 18. So then it will be, let's say, easier to understand how to deal with the one left here, right? But anyway, I was adjusting the size to the yarn I'm using. So we are going to still decrease twice. So once we reached this stage, now we will decrease, will not be changing the direction, so just decrease in this way. And here we'll connect 3 stitches in one. It will be maybe easier to make with a crochet hook, but you also can try to pass it through just with a needle. Right, so make it tight. And anyway, once we'll be closing the two parts, this like a hole here we also can close later on. Total we need to have 34 stitches, and now on this side we are going to close these two halves. Well, you cannot do it with the knitting needles with the cord, especially if it's a metal cord, because it's not that flexible. So we will need to transfer them to the knitting needle. I don't have exactly the same size knitting needle. I'll take slightly thinner. So we need to have 17 on one knitting needle and 17 on the other. And also we need a crochet hook. So I divided it into two knitting needles. We have 17 and 17, and our thread is from this side. I will be using crochet hook number 2. It's better to use the same size or smaller, so the stitches they will be, let's say, less noticeable, not stretched. It can be done with 3 knitting needles, but I prefer, and it's easier, to just rely on the crochet hook. So we are going to insert crochet hook inside one loop closer to us and one further from us, and we will pass and we remove it. Of 2, we now we have, you see, 2 loops on the crochet hook. So the second one we pass through the first one, so again we have 1 left. And in this manner it's really fast and easy. There is other way as well of connecting, where you can connect it with a regular needle, like you're sewing them, but I find it more confusing and complicated, so I prefer this way. Pass. Okay, the one closer to us, one further from us. We have two. Pass it. And here also, like, don't make it too tight. Okay, moderate. And again. So if you want to see how it looks from outside, it looks like this. Now I reached the stage that I have one loop left, right? So we just cut thread, maybe this long. Let's lock it. Let's see how it looks from outside. Well, and here, this, if we want to hide it, we can just make a knot. Right, so now the task is, this part is still slightly short for the head and too wide here, so that's why we need a crochet hook. And I would recommend you to take bigger. See these stitches, they're all big, so that's why if I take too small crochet hook, so it will you know, make it to be too tight from the very beginning, and we need to do it gradually. Okay, one chain, and now simply our task is to crochet through two halves. See, two halves, all of them. So we have one, with the single crochet, till the end. Yeah, don't pull it too hard, and it's fine if there are like holes like this. It's all perfectly fine. So you know that each half it was 17 and 17, it's 34. Here it gave me 3 stitches, 37. So from this side we engaged these 3 rows, right? And here we also do the same, so we need to add 3. Number 40, we can make it as a slip stitch. Okay, we don't want to take more from this part. Okay, so we make one chain, we turn round, and now our stitches will be not single crochet stitches, but half double crochet stitches. On my YouTube channel there is a video, crochet for beginners, and I was showing the difference between single, double and half double crochet stitches. We will take this yarn and wrap it around the crochet hook. So the pattern will be, we'll have one single crochet, decrease, You can make invisible decrease, but I just leave one stitch out and go to the next one. So this is the way it looks. Again, one half double crochet stitch, decrease, and in this manner I continue till the end. We'll make one more row, it will be the last one. You can always try it on in the process on the head of your doll. If you feel that it's already enough, so you can just leave it here, but I usually make one more row. And again, you can check if it's already too tight, so here you can then switch to 2 half double crochet decrease, 2 half double crochet decrease, and so on. Or if you feel that it's still loose, so you'll continue the same way, 1 half double crochet decrease, 1 decrease, 1 decrease. I'll try now on the head of the doll and I decide. So far it looks this way. Yeah, it also depends, you know, on the hair. Of course, we need to give space for hair, but I want it to be slightly longer, so definitely I will make one more row. I will go for the same one half double crochet decrease. Yeah, I want it to be tighter. Right, I'm happy with the final result. So it somehow holds here the hair, it's not too tight and not too loose. So now I'm going just to sew the button and hide the two, I guess, ends left. Yeah, and then we'll try it one more time. Right, this is the final result. And in my next video I'll show you how to make ears, how to make bunny ears for such a hat, and also I'll show you how to make bear ears. And if you feel like you want to keep it without any ears, so in that case it would be nice if you take some colorful yarn. For instance, I made this hat from the Moda Vera. I just found it in a local store, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. So here it's in 100 grams there are 209 meters. So it's much thicker than Alize Cotton Gold, which has for 100 grams 330 meters. So that's why I adjusted the pattern slightly. I reduced the number of stitches, and here you see, because it's changing the colors, I kept it this way. I think it's very cute and very matching. And plus here, instead of the regular like fastener with the button here, I just made 2 chains that I connected from the sides like this, very simple, very basic chain. I attached charms, these cute plastic hearts, and now it looks differently, like a different design, like different hat. And so you choose. Well, in fact, I ordered a pom-pom maker yesterday, yeah, because I'm thinking maybe to attach 1 pom-pom in the middle or 2 pom-poms from the sides. It's all your imagination, it's all your creativity, you choose. I hope you liked this tutorial and it was understandable and easy to follow, and you're happy with your final result. And don't forget to like it and subscribe. See you again. Bye bye.